On this week's episode, we're going to show you a little progress on the Citroen SM. I've got a 69 Charger that Tommy's been working on, and we're going to do a road test in the 64 Corvette, which is one of my favorite cars.
Hey, so today right now I'm putting in a new oil pan on the Charger. It's a 383 engine. We put a QA1 suspension, front suspension system in. So because it has a steering rack and cross member and everything now, the original oil pan doesn't fit. So I'm fitting on this Mylodon oil pan. It moves the sump back just enough to have clearance, and it's not too low where it's going to be scraping. So I'm just bolting this up, getting the steering rack back in. I'm going to tighten everything up and yeah, fill her up with oil next. Right now I'm just getting the dipstick out that we got for this. Then I'm going to put it in there, mount this bracket, and fill her up.
So this is the opposite of a Citroen. This is good old American muscle, but I mean, not old American muscle anymore, is it?
No.
What have you been doing in here?
So we got a couple kits and stuff. We put power steering with a steering rack because we did a QA1 suspension kit on it. Mm-hmm. And it takes out the torsion bars as well, so now it's got coil springs.
Okay, so it's going to handle a lot better.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was they were torsion bars. Great. They were great for taking off the car and using as pry bars. You just sharpen the end of them. Yeah, that's what I've always used torsion bars for. So you got Wildwood brakes on this thing, so that's quite the upgrade. That's all the way around.
Yeah, all the way around.
And the motor is what? What have we done with that?
Not too much. The guy wanted just a nice cruiser, so it's just the 383. Everything's stock. We did some repairs.
So it's not a stroker or something.
No.
Which is, you know,
nothing crazy.
That's fine, but at least it makes some of these cars more sensible because they get to the point where they have so much horsepower going on and so many ridiculous things that the owners actually start to find that it's just annoying to drive. They can't use them.
Yeah.
And that takes, I mean, with the huge amount of money that goes into them, unless you're actually going to the drag strip, having a drag car is not that much fun. You know?
No, yeah.
So this is a sensible build. Yeah, no doubt about that.
He'll be able to cruise it down the street and have no problems.
And this is not a stock car. I mean, it's going to handle more like a modern car. It's going to drive like a modern car. So it's like typical resto mod.
Oh yeah, and we've got the AC kit added in too. So he'll be.
And we've got custom interior that Dan and the guys are doing, or is it just stock?
Custom. Dan, I forget the pattern, but Dan upholstered all the seats and center console with a custom pattern.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty much ready to get installed.
So we're getting closer. I mean, the paint on this thing is, what makes me just so paranoid is anybody scratching it before we're done. You know, this looks like a standard paint job. I mean, it's black with the red tail stripe and everything, but when you walk by it, because there's pearls and metals in the top coats, I mean, it's got that beautiful blue sheen and blue sparkle that comes up. And I mean, to replicate that in a blow-in is like, we don't want to be doing that. That's the problem with custom paint, eh?
Oh yeah. Can't blow it in or fix it or anything.
That's right. Yeah. So, look after it. But yeah, I'm really pleased. This car is going to be dynamite when it's done.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to see the paint and everything when it's out driving.
I like it when they get this far. I can already see it finished, but it isn't quite there yet. But at least we're getting close. So good. All right. Thank you, Don.
No worries.
So Ron's got a great job right now. He's got to do the final test drive on the 64 Corvette, and well, he's taking you along with him.
Testing for a vibration. We're looking for a vibration in the drive line, and I changed linkage on the gas accelerator pedal on the throttle body. Before it was hard to push the gas pedal and it was jerky, like you just touch it and it would near impossible to drive smoothly. Now it feels a lot nicer. You know what, the vibration seems a lot better. Well, we did a couple of things. We put these blocks in that this fiberglass car where the floor is all fiberglass too, and over time the floor sags. And with the 5-speed Tremec transmission in here, it's a big case, the transmission's right on the touching the floor. So I put these pucks in, and it raises the floor up. And I was hoping for some more. I got some clearance, but not as much as I was hoping for. But the vibration's way better. It's taking a lot of load off the transmission. Starting to rain out a little bit. This car's tires aren't the best for traction. Spun second gear there just by starting to accelerate lightly.
All right, so we got the engine disassembled here. I have the block on the stand.
That funny little thing, was it 2.7?
Yeah, the 2.7, I think, for the 72s.
Well, it's not worn out, that's for sure.
No, it's not too bad.
So that's in good shape. No sign of any cracks or anything on it?
Nope, not that after I inspected, I didn't see anything. I cleaned it all up. And
Yeah. You know, it amazes me because look at the size of this block. It's tiny, and look at all the crap that was on it.
oh yeah, the engine bay is like triple the size of the block.
engine, yeah. So you've got all this stuff out. You've got pistons, rings.
Yeah, we're getting some of the rings and stuff on order, but I have the pistons out.
So we're going to use these pistons, but we'll use re-ring.
Yeah, re-ring and
New
some
bearings.
Same
And
with the main bearings.
chains, because chains were a famous problem with Maseratis.
Yeah, 3 timing chains in this car.
Okay.
One from the crank to this main shaft, and then that drives 2 other chains to the heads. So we're going to get all 3 new chains.
What could go wrong with any of that, eh?
Exactly. More points of failure.
Well, you know, the thing was, Maserati did these really elegant designs, but with no thought to servicing or anything like that afterwards. I mean, they just didn't even think about it. So they were, as beautiful as the cars were, motors were a nightmare. And it's not just the SM, the Merak, and all of the Maseratis had. I mean, I've done a couple. I did Mistral. What a nightmare that car was.
Oh yeah, taking it apart, I can
Yeah, and I mean, just
only
like
imagine.
you know.
Yep.
So really, there's not a whole bunch of mechanical problems with this car, other than just refurbishing and making it look new and re-ringing.
Yeah.
And I see Clev's had to go with the heads.
Yeah, they turned out a lot nicer than I was even expecting. Just he's like a magician.
Yeah, well, I discussed these covers with him because, I mean, they weren't polished originally. The only thing that these sometimes had, and I don't know whether the factory did it or not, was these were the crown and the trident and the Maserati were picked out in red, but they weren't polished. So he's done that because it's not quite polished.
Yeah, it's not.
That's they're nice. I've got another one of these engines around the shop somewhere. I sort of dimly recall that I don't have a set of these.
Oh.
For the engine, yeah. Somebody nicked it us sometime. I guess they wanted the Maserati off them, and I went, hey, what happened to my valve covers?
Nice to hang on the wall.
Yeah, well, they're on somebody's wall, not mine. So this is the tranny?
Yeah, so this is the transmission.
Oh, jeez.
It's
By saying transmission, you mean the rest of the car?
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, look at that.
Gearbox, inboard brakes in the front.
So you need front brakes on your car. You open the hood.
Yes.
Right. So these, at Jaguar, Jaguar had that dumb idea on the E-Types, and they were disc brakes, and that was an early disc brake system, but they didn't work with crap. I mean, they were marginally better than drum brakes. This is taking that even further, because now you've moved the brakes inboard, I guess, in front of the engine, right? At least this is in front of the engine.
In front, yeah.
You're doing a brake job on this. You're doing major surgery.
Yeah.
This is probably amongst the reasons why these are really, really rare. And they didn't sell a lot of them, and the company went bankrupt.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Because in 1974, they declared bankruptcy. Peugeot bought them and commonsensically went, the SM's nice, but let's get rid of it. But, every journalist who drove one of these things just raved about it.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're one of the nice, and it's on lists of the cars, the 10 cars you should drive in your lifetime. SM's on those lists. So I'll do the test driving on this when we get her done.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Good.
Sounds good.
Good progress. So what we're going to be doing with the body is I'm not going to send it out for dipping. I don't think it needs it. And, that's so invasive. There's a new technique. They're going to come in, they'll build an enclosure around it, and they're going to use lasers. So let's try it. It'll be the first time, and if it's successful, then that'll be a new process.
Awesome, that sounds good.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay.
Sweet, sounds good.
Thanks, Tommy.
No worries, thank you.
That's great because we're going to save time. We don't have to transport the whole thing down to the dippers and bring it back. It's going to be supposedly a nice clean process. Well, we did it last week, and well, it's a bit of a shame because it just didn't work. At least it didn't work on this car. It took basically a whole day to strip this area here, a little bit on the other side, a couple of cross members, a bit of the firewall, and you can see here that it's not even paint ready at this point. Like if it was dipped, we basically, with a little bit of cleanup, we're ready to start priming. With this, there's still all kinds of handwork to do. Didn't take any of the seam sealer out, didn't take all the Bondo off. You know, you can see here there's paint and rust still, even though it's been gone over. So it's a great process, and I can see the potential, and maybe later on when things become more developed, it'll be good. But for our purposes right now, well, it really hasn't worked. The challenges were, it didn't take all the rust off, certainly didn't take all the paint off, and with the filler and tar and everything, well, it had a tough time. The other point was, it was supposed to be basically a process that delivered no fumes. Well, I'll tell you, the whole shop was filled with acrid smoke. It was really nasty. Everybody ended up with a headache. So our experiment in high tech is back to the old ways. That's it for this week. I really hope that you enjoyed the cars that we were presenting to you. And by the way, if you happen to be in the market for a Vincent Black Shadow, well, look what I've got.